Over the last century, seed oils moved from rare to everywhere, hidden in fries, salad dressings, cookies, and even your favorite takeout. And rising inflammation and stubborn hormone issues have followed right behind them. People show up at clinics tired, bloated, moody, and struggling with weight or irregular periods. And one common thread keeps coming up: a steady stream of processed seed oils in their diet. These oils are cheap, highly processed, and when eaten every day, they can push your body toward more inflammation and throw off the balance of hormones that control sleep, energy, and mood. There's a simple, practical way out. In this video, you'll learn how to spot the sneaky sources of seed oils, why excess omega-6 fats can act like an inflammation gas pedal, and the easy swaps that work in real life. No complicated diets, just smarter grocery choices and simple cooking changes. Quick facts to keep in mind. Most vegetable oil labels are seed oils: soy, canola, corn, sunflower. High heat frying and industrial processing can damage these fats, and balancing with omega-3 rich foods plus using stable cooking fats makes a big difference. Think chips, store-bought salad dressings, margarine, and many frozen meals are the usual suspects. Start small. Read one label at the store, swap your frying oil to avocado or ghee, put olive oil on salads, add salmon or flax to your week. By the end of this video, you'll have a 1-week plan, 3 pantry swaps, and a 1-minute label trick to protect your hormones and calm inflammation. Keep watching, your body will thank you. 1. Why seed oils are in almost every product. You see them on your plate, inside the jar in your pantry, and even smeared into lotions on the drugstore shelf. Seed-derived oils like soybean, canola, corn, sunflower, and safflower are everywhere, and not by accident. They're the default for manufacturers because they're inexpensive, abundant, and neutral tasting. So they slip into a huge range of products without changing flavor or texture. Think of the thin, golden oil used to fry a restaurant's fries, the soft crumb of a store-bought muffin, or the creamy base of a salad dressing. Seed oils are usually behind those familiar sensations. The reason is simple. Big food companies need ingredients that are cheap, consistent, and scalable. Seed oils come from commodity crops that are grown and processed on massive industrial scales, which brings the price down and the supply up. They're refined to remove color and odor, making them invisible in recipes. That neutral profile means manufacturers can fry, bake, blend, and emulsify without worrying about a product tasting different from batch to batch. Short story, they're reliable. Long story, they allow factories to make millions of identical cookies, chips, and sauces with predictable shelf life and performance. Technical steps in production make seed oils especially useful for industry. Seeds are crushed and their oil pulled out in giant plants. Then the oil is refined, deodorized, and often bleached so it won't influence the taste or appearance of the final product. That refined oil has a high smoke point for frying. It helps baked goods stay moist, and it creates stable emulsions for mayonnaise and dressings. In addition, labels like vegetable oil or vegetable oil blend let manufacturers avoid spelling out specific seed oils, so consumers rarely spot them. Real-life examples are everywhere. The thin sheen on potato chips, the tender shortening in pie crusts, the frying oil used at many fast food counters, all likely seed oils in disguise. Practical swaps make reducing hidden exposure manageable. Start by scanning ingredient lists for vague terms like vegetable oil or specific names such as soybean, canola, corn, sunflower, and safflower. Cook at home more often and use single-ingredient oils you recognize, like extra virgin olive oil for dressings and low-heat cooking, or avocado oil for higher heat uses. If you prefer frying, consider ghee or a high oleic oil option and ask restaurants which oils they use. Even one informed question can change what they stock. Replace one packaged snack a week with a whole food alternative like nuts or air-popped popcorn tossed in olive oil, and you'll start noticing how many products make that switch possible. Check your pantry tonight. Flip a few labels. Swap one item this week. Small changes force big companies to respond when enough of us demand clearer labeling and different ingredients. 2. How omega-6 overload causes chronic inflammation. High intake of seed oils rich in omega-6 fatty acids quietly nudges your body toward a state of persistent, low-grade inflammation. That nudge happens in kitchens and cafeterias every day. in the vegetable oil used to fry restaurant fries, in the margarine spread on a roll, and in the packaged snacks stacked on supermarket shelves. While these oils are marketed as heart-healthy and convenient, relying on them constantly alters the balance of fats your cells use to make chemical messengers, and that shift favors inflammatory signals over calming ones. The result can show up as joint stiffness, persistent fatigue, weight that won't budge, or the slow development of chronic conditions like cardiovascular problems and autoimmune flare-ups. The practical fix is straightforward. Reduce the excess omega-6 load and support the omega-3 side of the equation, while limiting exposure to damaged, oxidized fats. Swap out high, linoleic seed oils in cooking and processed foods. Add whole food omega-3 sources such as fatty fish, chia, or flax, and favor cooking methods and fats that resist breakdown at high heat. Small, consistent changes make a real difference in the chemistry inside your body. To understand why these swaps matter, it helps to follow the biology at a simple level. Linoleic acid, the main omega-6 in common seed oils, is converted inside the body into longer omega-6 molecules like arachidonic acid. Enzymes then turn arachidonic acid into eicosanoids, prostaglandins, and leukotrienes, which act as powerful inflammatory signals. Omega-3 fats compete for the same enzymes and, when present, produce eicosanoids that are less inflammatory or even resolving. When your plate is dominated by omega-6 sources, the enzyme pathways tip toward producing more of the pro-inflammatory molecules. On top of that, polyunsaturated omega-6 fats are chemically fragile. They oxidize when exposed to heat, light, or repeated frying. Oxidation creates reactive breakdown products, such as aldehydes, that damage cell membranes, disrupt mitochondria, and trigger immune pathways that amplify inflammation. That's why a diet heavy in factory-made snacks, fried foods, and reused frying oil delivers a double hit. Too many omega-6 substrates, and more of them in an already damaged, inflammatory form. Putting this into practice is doable without overhauling your life. Start by reading ingredient lists. Soybean, corn, canola, sunflower, safflower, and cottonseed oils are common in packaged foods and restaurant cooking. For dressings and low-heat cooking, choose extra virgin olive oil. It's rich in monounsaturated fat and contains antioxidants that help blunt oxidation. For higher heat cooking, avocado oil or stable saturated fats are better choices than fragile omega-6 oils. Add omega-3, rich foods. Include a serving of oily fish a couple of times a week or sprinkle ground flaxseed and chia on yogurt and salads. Reduce intake of deep-fried and ultra-processed snacks and avoid reheating oil repeatedly. Also, increase antioxidant-rich vegetables, herbs, and spices. They help counteract oxidative damage and support healthy inflammation control. Take one concrete step this week. Replace the oil you cook with most often, or swap a packaged snack for a handful of mixed nuts or a piece of fruit. Track how you feel after a few weeks, energy, brain clarity, joint comfort, and adjust from there. Small, strategic swaps add up, rebalancing the fat signals your body produces and lowering the background inflammatory noise that drives many chronic health complaints. 3. Connection between seed oils, hormones, and women's health issues. Many common cooking oils, soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower, and similar vegetable oils, are rich in omega-6 fats, and that simple fact can ripple through a woman's hormonal system. When the diet piles on these omega-6 while shortchanging omega-3s, the balance that helps control inflammation shifts. Chronic, low-grade inflammation doesn't stay confined to joints or digestion. It interferes with insulin signaling, the delicate rhythm of reproductive hormones, and the body's processing of estrogen. For women who already struggle with conditions like irregular cycles, heavy periods, or difficult PMS, this inflammatory nudge can make symptoms worse. Cutting back on seed oils is a clear, practical first step. Swap out the usual suspects, processed snack foods, store-bought salad dressings, and restaurant fried items, for choices cooked in more stable fats. Use extra virgin olive oil for cold dressings and low-heat cooking. Choose avocado oil for higher heat needs, and consider butter or ghee for sautéing if that fits your preferences. At the same time, boost omega-3 sources like fatty fish, chia, flax, and walnuts to help rebalance the omega-6. omega-3 ratio that matters for inflammation and hormone signaling. Understanding the how matters less than seeing real consequences in everyday life. Linoleic acid, the main omega-6 in seed oils, can be converted inside the body into molecules that promote inflammation. Those molecules act like tiny chemical messengers. They tell tissues to react more strongly to stress and can make insulin work less efficiently. Insulin resistance then nudges ovaries toward excess androgen production in susceptible women, worsening conditions such as polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, and making menstrual cycles erratic. Heat and repeated frying turn these oils into oxidized compounds. Think of them as damaged fats that can further stress cells and hormone-producing tissues. So a daily habit like grabbing a fast food fry or a packaged muffin isn't just an empty calorie moment. It's a repeated exposure to fats that can worsen hormonal balance over time. Practical integration means small, actionable swaps you can stick with. Start with the kitchen. Make a simple vinaigrette using extra virgin olive oil and lemon, or roast vegetables in avocado oil instead of reaching for pre-made mixes. Check labels for vague terms such as vegetable oil or partially hydrogenated, and favor whole food snacks, nuts, plain yogurt, fruit, over chips and commercial crackers. Add a fish dinner twice a week, or sprinkle ground flaxseed into oatmeal or smoothies. Aim to include colorful vegetables and antioxidant-rich spices like turmeric and ginger. They help neutralize oxidative stress that harms hormone-producing cells. Take the next step by tracking symptoms as you make changes. Keep a short food and symptom diary for a few weeks and notice patterns: energy, sleep, cycle regularity, bloating. If issues persist, bring your notes to a healthcare provider and ask about basic tests for inflammation and metabolic health. Small diet shifts can reduce inflammatory load and give your hormones a better chance to reset. Try replacing one packaged item with a whole food alternative this week and see how your body responds. 4. Latest studies and hidden dangers. Routine blood work often flags higher C-reactive protein and signs of insulin resistance in people whose diets are heavy in fried and processed foods. Foods most often cooked in high linoleic seed oils like soybean, corn, sunflower, and cottonseed. That link is not random. Recent research points to two overlapping dangers: the biochemical fate of linoleic acid inside the body, and the toxic compounds that form when these oils are heated, stored poorly, or reused. Together, they can nudge the body toward chronic inflammation and subtle shifts in hormone signaling that many people mistake for normal aging or stress. One clear step to reduce risk is to cut down on oxidized seed oils and boost fats that are more stable and less prone to producing harmful breakdown products. Choose cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil for dressings and low-heat cooking. Use high oleic versions of sunflower or safflower oil if you need a neutral-tasting oil for higher heat. Add fatty fish, flax, chia, and walnuts to rebalance omega-6 to omega-3 intake and support hormone-friendly cell membranes. These practical swaps don't require perfection. Small, consistent changes make a difference. The details matter. Linoleic acid, the dominant fatty acid in many seed oils, is a precursor for molecules that can become pro-inflammatory if the balance with omega-3 fats is off. Cell membranes incorporate dietary fats, so what you eat alters membrane composition and the way receptors and enzymes behave, including those involved in insulin sensitivity, thyroid signaling, and sex hormones. When seed oils are overheated, especially during repeated deep frying, they form oxidized lipid products and aldehydes such as 4-hydroxynonenal. Laboratory and animal studies show these compounds can trigger inflammatory pathways and interfere with normal hormone receptor function. Human studies are more nuanced. Observational data often associate high intake of processed foods cooked in seed oils with higher inflammatory markers, while intervention trials sometimes show smaller or mixed effects, depending on what fats are replaced and the overall dietary pattern. Still, the mechanistic signals are strong enough to take practical precautions. Practical integration is straightforward and realistic. Swap out the common vegetable oil in your pantry for a bottle labeled extra virgin olive oil for salads and low-heat cooking, and keep a separate high-heat oil for frying that lists high oleic on the label. Read ingredient lists on packaged foods. Items like crackers, chips, and many commercial sauces often rely on soybean or corn oil. When eating out, favor grilled, roasted, or steamed options over deep-fried ones. Ask restaurants which oil they use if possible. Store oils in a cool, dark place and avoid buying large clear plastic bottles you'll use slowly because light and air accelerate oxidation. Finally, include omega-3 rich foods daily to support a healthier inflammatory balance. Take action now by auditing your kitchen and meal choices this week. Swap one commonly used seed oil for a more stable oil, reduce one fried meal per week, and add a serving of omega-3 rich food. If you're concerned about inflammation or hormone changes, unexplained fatigue, irregular cycles, low libido, or persistent weight gain, talk to your clinician about testing markers like C-reactive protein, fasting insulin, and a basic hormone panel. Small, measurable steps add up, and adjusting the types of fats you eat can be an effective, practical piece of a broader plan to lower inflammation and protect your hormonal health. 5. Best healthy fat alternatives. Many common cooking fats are unstable at high heat or low in the specific nutrients your body needs, so choosing smarter options matters more than you might think. Polyunsaturated oils can oxidize when overheated, whereas monounsaturated and saturated fats tend to hold up better during cooking. Some fats, like those rich in EPA and DHA from fatty fish, support healthy inflammation control and hormone signaling. The key is swapping in fats that match the cooking method and deliver real nutritional benefits. Start with extra virgin olive oil for cold use and low-heat cooking. It's rich in monounsaturated fat and plant polyphenol that work well in dressings, drizzled over roasted vegetables, or gently sautéed greens. Use avocado oil when you need a neutral flavor and a higher smoke point. Think stir-fries and sheet pan dinners. For high-heat searing, ghee or clarified butter is a good go-to because removing the milk solids raises the smoke point and adds rich flavor. Coconut oil is another high-heat option. It's mostly saturated fat and gives baked goods or tropical flavored dishes a pleasant texture and aroma. Don't forget whole food sources. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines provide long-chain omega-3s, EPA, and DHA that are directly linked to lower inflammation. Aim to include a portion of fatty fish a couple of times a week. Nuts and seeds offer convenient, plant-based fats. Walnuts and chia or flaxseed supply ELA, a plant omega-3 that's great in smoothies or yogurt. Macadamia nuts are unusually high in monounsaturated fat and make a satisfying snack. Tahini and sesame oil add a nutty depth to sauces and dressings and bring lignans, which have antioxidant effects. Flaxseed oil is valuable, but should not be heated. Use it in dressings or stirred into cold dishes. Practical swaps make change simple. Popcorn tossed with a little coconut oil and sea salt beets butter-laden microwave bags. Replace the usual vegetable oil in your morning omelet with ghee or avocado oil. Make a quick vinaigrette. Extra virgin olive oil, lemon, mustard, and a pinch of salt. Pour it over greens instead of bottled creamy dressings. Oven roast vegetables with olive oil and garlic. Keep a small bottle of cold-pressed flax or walnut oil in the fridge to finish salads. For baking, try butter or a blend of butter and mashed avocado instead of straight seed oil. Store oils in dark, cool places and avoid overheating or repeatedly reusing them. Start small and be consistent. Swap one oil in your kitchen this week and taste the difference. Then add another. Read labels. Look for extra virgin, cold-pressed, or unrefined when you want maximum flavor and nutrients. Cook more meals from whole ingredients, and plan one fish-based dinner and a couple of nut or seed-based breakfasts each week. These manageable steps help you get the stability, flavor, and nutrients your body needs without complicating your day. 6. Simple steps to remove seed oils from your kitchen. Most packaged foods in restaurant kitchens rely on soybean, corn, canola, sunflower, and other seed-based oils, and those familiar labels like vegetable oil often hide exactly that. These oils are high in polyunsaturated fats that oxidize easily when heated, so they end up in everything from salad dressings and margarine to chips, crackers, and frozen dinners. If you're noticing chronic bloating, achy joints, or foggy days after eating processed snacks, the cooking fats behind many of those foods are a likely place to start changing things. Start by replacing the oils you use every day. Swap that big bottle of vegetable oil for jars of extra virgin olive oil for cold uses and a stable fat like ghee, butter, or lard for frying and high-heat cooking. Avocado oil is a good fruit-based option when you need a neutral flavor and higher smoke point. Keep one oil for dressings and finishing, and another for stovetop work. That simple 2-bottle routine cuts the chance of unknowingly using seed oils mid-cook. Read labels like a detective. When a product lists vegetable oil, it likely contains a seed oil blend. Mayonnaise, store-bought salad dressings, many cookies and crackers, shelf-stable baked goods, and some peanut butters include seed oils as cheap fillers. Choose products that explicitly name olive oil or avocado oil, or better yet, make quick homemade versions. Whisk egg yolk, lemon, mustard, and extra virgin olive oil for an easy mayo. Toss greens with lemon and olive oil for a faster dressing. For snacks, trade store chips cooked in canola oil for air-popped popcorn with a drizzle of melted butter or a handful of nuts. Make a simple plan to integrate changes that stick. Empty one shelf at a time instead of an overnight purge. Replace the vegetable oil bottle first, then swap mayonnaise and dressings on your next shopping trip. Label a no-seed shelf so family members know which jars to use. Cook one familiar recipe, scrambled eggs, roasted vegetables, or pan-fried fish, using only your new fats, and compare taste and texture. When you must eat out, ask what oil is used or choose dishes less likely to be drenched in seed-based dressings. Don't pour old oil down the sink. Collect it in a sealed container and throw it away or recycle if your community accepts cooking oil. Commit to replacing 3 pantry items this week and taste the difference. Small, consistent swaps make your kitchen a place that supports lower inflammation and clearer energy, and you'll likely notice benefits in how you feel long before you see them on a scale. Take one shelf, one meal, one swap at a time. If you've ever wondered why your skin flares up, your joints ache, or your periods feel worse than they should, seed oils could be one quiet part of the puzzle. They're everywhere, in fries, store-bought dressings, packaged snacks, and even some healthy, baked goods. And because many are high in omega-6 fats and are heavily processed, they can promote inflammation and nudge hormone balance the wrong way when they crowd out omega-3s. Here's the simple takeaway. Cut back on common seed oils, soybean, corn, canola, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed. Favor whole food fats and more stable oils, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut, butter, or ghee for higher heat, and boost omega-3s with fatty fish, walnuts, or flax. Small changes. Making your own salad dressing with olive oil and lemon, roasting veggies in avocado oil, choosing grilled over fried at restaurants, or swapping packaged snacks for nuts and fruit add up fast. Practical steps to start today. Scan labels for vegetable oil or the names above. Keep a jar of olive oil by the stove for finishing dishes and dressings. Use avocado oil for higher heat cooking. And aim for 2 servings of oily fish a week or a tablespoon of ground flax daily. Track how you feel for 2 weeks. Energy, skin, PMS, joint soreness, and you might notice differences sooner than you expect. Quick recap. Seed oils are widespread and can drive inflammation if overused. Balance omega-6 with omega-3s. Choose stable, minimally processed fats, and swap simple everyday items to make a real impact. If this resonated, subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss the upcoming deep dives. Next week, we'll test cooking oils at different temperatures and show 3 easy anti-inflammatory recipes you can make in under 20 minutes. Share your experience in the comments. What did you replace first, or what surprised you most? First, read them, and we'll shape future videos around your questions. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Small, consistent swaps give your hormones and inflammation a chance to settle, and you'll feel it.